Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge. Are you ready for some taboo Rex today? If you don't know what this kink is, and I'm not sure which title I have had to use, by the way, because just so you know, when I do taboo Rex, I first, when I'm labeling them, try to label them just what they are. You know, like I just try to call it daddy kink, or I try to say, what's one that I had trouble with? I think I had trouble with like writing consensual non-consent or like rape fantasy. Like there's certain words you're not allowed to say. So when I'm labeling them, first I try to just say what they are, and then if I get a content warning, I change the words. So in case you've stumbled across this and I've had to name it something clever, this is going to be Somnophilia Rex. So romances that include someone, and I have the term of what this is: the desire to have sex with an unconscious, sleeping, or comatose person. Okay, now these Recs that I'm about to share, they have different levels of this. They have different levels of consent included. However, most of these, they're basically non-consensual scenes. They're again, there are some of them that the heroine consents to it ahead of time. And then for the most of them, they're ones where sex acts are being done to them or near them when they are asleep and have not consented. So I'm putting that all out there. If any of that icks you, if any of that makes you uncomfortable, you can just go ahead and click out now. There's no issues. There's no need to leave a harsh comment or anything disparaging. You know, I make these taboo recs to be a safe place for people to find the recs that they want and to share the recs that they have read, because not enough people recommend these types of books because they're afraid to, or they think it's weird. Now, do I like this in every scenario? No. Do I even like all the books I'm recking? No. And in fact, I only have 6 to share that I have read and I actually like recommend. And then I have 4 of them I'm going to share that I have not read, but I'm going to read the description to you and see if you're interested, and I'll tell you whether I plan to read the book or not. But I still wanted to have 10 recommendations for you, but only 6 of them are recommendations where like I have read them and I can confirm that there's somnophilia in it. Because again, like when I looked these up, there was a lot of books on the somnophilia list that aren't really somnophilia, because there's a difference between like starting foreplay when someone's asleep and then like waking up to something, and the entire sex act happening while they're asleep. Okay, because some people, and again, you should always have consent for something. So if you're starting sex with someone before they're awake, that's not okay. But in romance novels, that happens all the time. You know, and again, just because something's in a romance novel doesn't mean it should be in real life. But how many times do we read a book where the woman starts fellatio when the man's asleep, or the woman wakes up to him eating her out? Like, that's technically starting with that, but you're not planning to like complete the act while they're asleep, you know? And so whether or not we're calling that consensual, that's not the argument. The books I'm going to recommend to you, all of them have non-consensual somnophilia in it, at least the first times that it's happening. So if you don't want to read that, then go. Okay? All right. Is everybody gone? Who's going to clutch their pearls? Because I'll tell you, I got real close to clutching my own pearls with some of these. Okay? Because some of these are too much even for moi. But I'm here to recommend them to you. So let's go through the ones I've read before, like I said. And the first one I want to mention, and this is one that it is very clear cut, this is a non-consensual somnophilia happening, and that is Hitman. And I think this one's just C. Hallman. There might also be the other author involved too. I think it might be Isabella Starling and C. Hallman. I'll put it up here. This one is a novella. This is in the Dark Heart romance, I think is what it is. It's in the same series as Wrong by Adelaide Forrest, that Heaven and Hell Club. But the hero is a hitman for the mafia, and the heroine is working at a club, and she's a bartender, she's not one of the girls, but he wants her. So he kind of like, he's going to pay her a lot of money for her to like pleasure him or whatever. And she does do it. And then there ends up being a scenario where he takes her captive and he like drugs her food and he performs sex on her while she's sleeping. And it starts as it is, he does that without ever mentioning it to her. And the next day it's like, why am I sore? Or those things, right? Eventually, it's something that she consents to ahead of time. She chooses to take the drugs to like, almost like paralyze her so that she can still feel that she has an orgasm and stuff. She's not sleeping, but she's literally like paralyzed. So crazy stuff happened in that one. Then this is another one that involves drugging of the person in it. And that is Even If It Hurts by Sam Mariano. I believe he puts it in the food, some food in this, in a drink. Does he put in water in this? I can't remember. But I know that Dare has a perchance for stalking and sneaking into the heroine's room. And he fucks her for like, I think the first time when she's sleeping. And he continues to do this to get release on her, from her, while she is asleep. Dare does a lot of naughty things, include threaten to fuck her dead body at one point, because Sam Mariano goes there, y'all. She definitely does. But this was a crazy book. It was a crazy book. Then I actually have a book to share that I believe, for me, this was the first time I ever read this kink. And it was a couple years ago now. I read this book called While She Sleeps by Danny Renee. And this book was a part of the like anti-heroes series, or it was like a dirty hero. I can't remember what the series is completely called, but something like that. And it has like a Sleeping Beauty is the retelling part of it. And he wants to fuck her while she's sleeping. And I believe this one was pretty short. And I think this one is consensual. It's been a long time. And again, I put out the warning triggers to start with this. But I think the heroine like wants to be taken advantage of while she's sleeping. I think. I can't fully remember again, so don't hold me to it, but I think so. Either way, I know this one has it in it. So if you want to explore it in this one, this was the first time I read it and I was like, whoa. This series, I didn't make it through this series. I only read a few of them, but this series had many of those situations where it had kinks that I had never seen before. So interesting. All right, then we have one that I recently read, and this is Notice by Kay Webster. This one is a stalking romance, which includes him sneaking into her room while she's sleeping and performing a sex act over the top of her. So jacking off over her body and her waking up to dried cum. That's a thing. Him sleeping under her bed and jacking off under her bed. So this one has a little bit of like difference to how the kink plays out, but a lot of times he's also imagining that he's fully having sex with her. So he's like jacking off, she's not consenting to that, and also he's thinking about doing stuff to her. So this one's a little more like mental. This one has plenty of still fucked up stuff in it, because Kay Webster, don't pull her punches, y'all. She do not pull her punches. Then one I read recently for the Light versus Dark Readathon is I read The Danger You Know by Lily White. And this one had an interesting scenario. This one also involves a stalker. A lot of these involve stalking. Imagine that, someone sneaking in to the room while they're sleeping. Very interesting. And she has, oh shoot, what's it called? She has a sleep condition, narcolepsy. She has a sleep condition and she has like waking dreams. She also has a lot of trauma from witnessing some things and seeing some things when she was young. And there is a point in this story where the hero has her captive. There's a point in the story where he does. And the only way her dreams will calm down is for them to like fuck in her sleep. So there's a lot of like, she's sleeping but still participate, not an active consensual participation, but he will fuck her in her sleep, and she'll wake up the next day and be like turned on that he did it, but also upset that she keeps having these dreams and that he has to do it. So interesting. And then the last one that I have actually read and recommend from that point is Prisoner by Skye Warren and Annika Martin. And this one involves a case of like her being drugged and them doing some things during that. But this book, I honestly love this book so much. This has a prison break in it, and she's someone who is like volunteering at the prison, and he ends up taking her as like a hostage, and she gets hurt, I think, during their escape. I don't know. Or that he's drugging her to keep her like compliant. I can't fully remember. Let's be honest. Can't fully remember. But I do know that it involves a point where she's drugged and he's fooling around with her. Well, she is. So that's the part of the like comatose part of it, right? Okay, so now, like I said, I have 4 books that I found them on the Goodreads list that I looked up. And they had multiple recommendations for Somnophilia, okay? So they all had at least 5 recommendations for it. Because again, like I said, some of them are put in Somnophilia and they don't include like hardcore like Somnophilia happening, right? So I'm going to share each book and read the blurb, and you can decide if it's one you want to try. And if you have read the one I'm recommending, please let me know if I should read it, or if all of us should read it, let us know. So the first one, this one is a novella length. It's only 99 pages, so I actually might try this one. It's called The Possessive Conflict, and it's by Celia Crown. And this is the blurb. Sergei's an escaped conflict. Naya's a flower shop girl. Their worlds shouldn't have connected. Instead, it collided. She's a good girl, innocent and void of stains. He's attracted to that decadence. She leads a simple life, one that he had rudely disrupted with his icy blue eyes and warping commands. Naya fought the attraction for the dying man, but the hostile fondness in his gaze lured her into his sweet snare. Each hesitant step turns bold stride into a side that she discovered about her. He taints her with doting antagonism and motivated manipulation. She never stood a chance. So this one has Stockholm Syndrome, is literally the warning. So anyway, yep, people put this one in it, so we'll see. Then there is Coerce by Candace Wright. This one, it looks like there's a confirmed for sure in this one too. But here we go. Here is the blurb for this one. Ivy. I know what love is. After witnessing its devastation, I've shielded away from it. Until Atlas. I never thought I'd ignore the red flags and wave a white one. Surrendering to Atlas in the most delectable way. I didn't realize he's been playing me all along until I found myself at his mercy. They say love can heal wounds, but what about the scars left behind? Atlas. I don't know what love is. I've never been touched by its light or fallen into its depths until Ivy. When I see something I want, I take it, and right now all I want is her. Each move I make is calculated and methodical until I have her exactly where I want her. By the time she recognizes it's a trap, it will be too late. She'll never forgive me, and I'll never set her free, but I feel no guilt nor remorse, not when I'll own every inch of her body, heart, and soul. Not even Ivy herself will stop me. Yep. So there we go. Interesting. All right. And then there's also Blurred Lines by Mila Crawford. This one has no blurb written down. Where's the blurb at? This one doesn't have a blurb written out, y'all. Hold on, let me go to Amazon and see. 1 second. But Goodreads didn't have the blurb. Okay, here we go. Blurred Lines. This one's also 132 pages. Here we go. This one says, I'm a monster. a demon lurking in the darkness. My whole life has been consumed with making her suffer. That woman that stole everything from me. I've waited 17 years for vengeance to ruin her like she's ruined me. I'm going to take everything she loves before I send her to meet the Grim Reaper. But I'm not expecting to be captivated by the rich brown eyes of her daughter. And then it has Anissa. He's a monster. He's come into my life and taken everything from me. Everything I have ever loved, he's destroyed. Now he wants to control me, to possess me, to make me his. I want to fight, but there's something in his blue stare that engulfs me and makes me his prisoner. So, yeah. There we go. All right, and then the last one, and I want to be extremely clear. This is highly recommended by a lot of my friends and viewers and all that. I don't really have an interest in reading it because this author and I have not gotten along, and by that, she's absolutely lovely. That's not what I mean. I mean, her books and I have not gotten along. But this book came up for this over and over again. So it would be remiss of me to not point it out, even though I'm not interested. But believe me, I know you guys want me to try it. It has been put in my book rack form no less than 5 times since it came out. But I don't plan on reading this, you guys. I'm sorry. I never finished the other series that connects with it. And I've given this author 5 separate chances, which is 2 more than I normally do. So, anyway, enough of that. Don't let that get in the way, though, of you trying this book if you like what I'm mentioning. It hasn't vibed with me. I am in the minority. This has a 4.25 out of 6,000 ratings, okay? People love it. So just know that, okay? This is God of Malice by Rena Kent, okay? And this one says, I caught the attention of a monster. I didn't ask for it. Didn't even see it coming. But the moment I do, it's too late. Killian Carson is a predator wrapped in sophisticated charm. He's cold-blooded, manipulative, and savage. The worst part is that no one sees his devil side. I do, and that will cost me everything. I run, but the thing about monsters, they always chase. So, this one has a lot of trigger warnings and a lot of kink that people love in it. And so, I think a lot of people, this one's going to work for them. Again, please don't recommend it to me again. But I'm recommending it to the people who like what I've shared and maybe haven't given Rena Kent a try. This could be a great one to do. I'm just being transparent that I'm sharing the rec. Not sure if I'll ever pick up another Rena Kent because it hasn't went well for me. So anyway, enough bitching about that. I hope you've enjoyed this little walk on the sleepy side of romance. And let me know if there are any recs you have that you've seen this kink in before, and let me know. Thank you so much for watching this video. I have an entire playlist of dark romance recs that you can check out, and make sure you follow me and subscribe to all my socials if you want recs pretty much daily. It's happening. So thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.